Alright, so I'm on the passenger side. Again, this is for a B Mazda 2000, 2200, 2600. It's all the same. So what I'm going to start with is this castle nut, and we're going to get this steering out of the way. Pop that off. We're going to unbolt the shock. We're going to take off the, what is that? I think that's the sway bar. Yeah, we're gonna take off the sway bar. Then I'm gonna come around, take the brakes off, pop this tab right here, drain it into a bucket, and go from there. So pretty much I'm just gonna disassemble all this. I'm not gonna go into too much detail. It's pretty simple. So I'm just gonna time lapse through this and get it going. Alright, so you see that we got the shock out, the whole spindle assembly out, took the brake line off, took the steering arm off, took the sway bar off. So in one of my previous videos, like I said before, you do need this bar right here. There's a video that I posted a while ago about doing the Fantini Fab kit. Well, you do need this bar. I was mistaken. I said you needed that you wouldn't need it anymore, but you do. So now we're gonna cut the shock mount out. We're gonna cut this stop out. Both these stops as close as we can. We're gonna come in here and clean up all the metal. Take the torsion bar out, and we're gonna cut this mount off also. Don't need that anymore. Again, so this is the process to do the Fantini Fabrication front bag bracket kit. What you will need to do with the parts, so this is the lower bracket. This needs to be bent. I bent mine at a 90 degree. This is not bent yet, but the other side is. So you bend this at a 90 degree angle, and this sits down in here. Well, the top you have to bend. The top you have to bend at a 10 degree angle. So if you see that, it's already pre-cut where you bend it. You just bend it at a 10 degree angle with this piece towards the back of the truck. So when you place it in here, it'll pretty much go right in between those two stops. You'll see when we get further into it. But for now, I still gotta disassemble some stuff, cut some stuff out. I'm gonna start cleaning stuff up and now that we cut all this stuff out, stops. Okay, so this bottom control arm right here, it's just rough right now, but I'll clean it up later. So a good rule of thumb, trying to get the light in there so you can see it. A good rule of thumb is to come out from this cross member brace right here, come out 3 inches to start with, and then you really just want to just make a loop around that. Now what we're gonna do here is grind all this stuff flat so it's nice and smooth. We're gonna clean this all up in here. We're also gonna make a little pocket right here, so when we put our lower bolt in for the bag, I do this personally. I cut a hole in there. You don't have to, but it's just easier to line the bolt up and stuff. So we're just showing you what we got going on in here. This is time consuming. The time consuming part is plasing all this stuff out. You're gonna have to use a plas cutting wheel. Next, I'm using a grinder right now. Really, you just want to cut this piece right here out away from the frame, but when you go to put the plate on, which goes this way, it's gonna have to be flush with the frame. So I tend to cut it out a little further, and I'll flap disc it in from there. It's easier to just leave yourself some meat on this and then push it in with the grinder or the flap disc, because if you cut too much, you're gonna have a gap down here to weld. So I mean, this is a time-consuming part, but again, this is what we're doing. I'm gonna sand all this stuff down, grind it so it's nice and flat and flush, and I'll come in here and flap disc this whole area so it's all nice and shiny. That way we'll have good weld penetration and all that good stuff. I will get a measurement. Pretty much I'll measure from this hole down to about where you want to cut this. Like, this is not the first time that I've done this kit, so I kind of know where to do it, but you pretty much want to do it in line with the frame. You don't want to go any higher, because then you're gonna have a gap in here to weld. So pretty much this is what we got going on. Grind all this stuff out and we will start installing the kit. All right guys, we're back. So we are getting ready to start installing the kit. One thing you do want to do is you want to grind that all up, or I flap disced it with the 36 grit. You want to get the whole edge all the way around this. You also want to get inside of here. I don't know if you need to use a burr bit or I mean, if you want a nice weld, you want to clean the inside of this up too. So pretty much how you're gonna install this is, you see this little lip right here? It kind of mimics that. So you want to just butt this up behind. This is a piece of metal right here that's sandwiched together, and it's all seam welded and stuff, factory. So you want to basically get it underneath that, and you'll feel where it's at. So you want to line this up as good as you can get it, because this bottom piece isn't exactly the same shape. This bottom piece isn't exactly the same shape as the factory. It's close to it, but it's not perfect. But either way, you want to make sure it's butted up against that. Yes, there is play in it, but I think that's from the factory. It's not the piece. So hold on, let me try to get you in here. So there's gonna be, it's a little wobbly. So I'm pretty sure that's from the factory frame. over time and stuff like that, because there is a piece that we had to cut out, which is in, like, it's a whole section in here that you got to cut out. So I don't know if you can see that or not, but like, you see this piece right here, like where it's about even with the frame, the top of the frame. That's pretty much where you want this to go, but you do kind of want it flat on the bottom of that piece, on the bottom of this right here. So once this plate is where you want it, I mean, just get it lined up with this as best as you can. It's not perfect, but all you're gonna really use this plate for is we are filling in that hole, the void right here that we made, and these fish plate welds right here, that's basically what this is a fish plate. We're just boxing in the frame, and we're gonna use this as the backing for the top bag bracket to come off of, with the 10-degree bend like we talked about before. And you'll have gussets on both sides, and there will also be gussets up on the top up here. So as we get into that, I will show you along the journey. For that being said, we are going to start getting this thing tacked in. I'm going to get the welder all ready and go from there.